Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the MGS Podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. My name is Jake, here always with the love to my thunder. Paul, how you doing, Paul?
Hey, love and thunder.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, I do. Clever girl.
Clever girl. So on today's podcast, if you haven't guessed, we're going to talk about Thor, Love, and Thunder. It's going to be a spoiler conversation, so just know now we're going to talk about what happens in the movie. I saw it Thursday, Paul saw it Saturday, and then we're going to be talking about two potential Game of Thrones things. Well, one is for sure. One we're a little iffy on. One being House of Dragons, which comes out later this year. The other being the Jon Snow sequel or prequel. We don't really know.
Can't do a prequel, right?
I know. It would be stupid.
Yeah, because he doesn't know anything about him. Then we're just back to fragile Jon Snow.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, you know, I'm a
bastard.
Stark. How you going? Fucking. And then for gaming, we're going to be talking about kind of Battlefield. It's Project Reality. It is a Battlefield 3 mod. It is an extensive mod. Then we're going to be talking about a Terminator Survival game that was teased.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty dope.
It's going to be
I'm
pretty
excited
dope.
to talk about both of those. So
And then we're going to talk about some sports shit. So
sports.
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, get ready because we're winging it like we always do. And it's going to be good.
See you in a minute. Yeah. So to get things started, we're going to jump right into Thor, Love, and Thunder. I saw it on Thursday. I loved it more than Paul did. Not that you disliked it.
Yeah, I did not love it, but
Did you love and thunder it?
yeah, it was good. You know, I went in, with I think higher expectations due to Ragnarok being my favorite
Amazing.
Thor of all time. So, and one thing I thought they did with Ragnarok that was so good is they gave a little bit of humor to the movie, as well as like some seriousness.
Yeah.
And with the new one, I'll talk about a little bit what my dislikes were on it, but a lot of action. Got to see some new characters. Got to see some spoilers, at the end there on who we can see moving forward.
I have a theory about that.
With some Hercules. Yeah,
I have a theory about that.
cool. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was your take on it?
So I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm in agreement with a lot of people that I know that a lot of the comedy was forced. There were instances where, like at one point, you see Thor trying to comfort a bunch of Asgardian children who have been kidnapped by Gore the God Butcher, and they're like being held in this cage. And not one time does he speak to them seriously and try to comfort them. It's all
Right.
just forced comedy the whole time. And I feel like Ragnarok, they got it so right with the comedy. But at the end of that, Thor was the leader of Asgard.
Right.
And that was the Thor we left off on. And then, of course, we see Thor in Infinity War, who is a badass. Very little comedy there. A little bit like when he's making a Stormbreaker. He's like, it'll kill you only if I die. Yes, that is what kill you means.
I did love that shit. Was hilarious.
So but the comedy made sense, and I think one of the issues there is, if you've noticed, the MCU is allowing their directors to have a little more freedom
Sure.
in what they're making.
Absolutely.
And this was made by Taika Waititi, who, he's a funny fucking dude.
Yeah.
He made a movie about Nazis that was just pure comedy. Like,
How do you do that?
yeah, Jojo Rabbit. If you've never seen it,
I've
it's
not
hilarious.
ever
He
seen
actually plays Hitler. In
Oh,
the
does he
movie
really?
Too, yeah.
Oh, shit, I'll check that
He
out.
voices Korg. If you didn't know, the rock guy.
That's
he voices Korg.
One of my favorite characters. I'm okay with the comedy that comes from Korg.
Yeah, Korg is funny, but yeah. So there was a lot of forced comedy. I feel like we had this huge arc with Thor over the three Thor movies, Endgame or Infinity War, and then Endgame. And then, in Endgame, he's going through this thing where, he's turned into a drunk because he failed in Infinity
Yep.
War. But then by the end of Endgame, we see Warrior Thor again.
Right.
And then in this, we see a Thor who's, I guess, in a way heartbroken. He's lost. He doesn't know where to go in life.
Doesn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah, and by the end
after
of
1,000 years,
more than 1,000
what do you
years,
do?
Yeah. I think he's like 3,000 years old in the MCU, but like, yeah, there was a lot of forced comedy. That being said, I really enjoyed it. Jane Foster coming back as Lady Thor, I thought they did a really good job with that, and even showing her like when she isn't Lady Thor and she's Jane and her cancer and how like skinny she gets.
Yep.
And like I thought that part of the story was good. I thought Tessa, who plays Valkyrie, she killed it. Yeah, she killed it.
She did amazing.
Korg is amazing as usual. At one point in the movie, you think Korg gets killed by Zeus.
I was so sad about that.
I was fucking livid, like because they go to the gods to like the I guess we'll call it like the orgy of the gods, because they literally talk about having a god orgy.
You're not invited to the orgy.
You're not invited to the orgy. And Russell Crowe plays Zeus, who essentially is the strongest alpha god. And at one point he throws his lightning bolt at Korg, and you see him slowly fall apart. And I'm like, Korg, no.
And then his face is just there.
Like, oh, apparently we're still alive. It's just our face. Like, oh, Korg, my dog.
I love it because then Valkyrie tapes him on the back of her head. Yeah. He's like, "You got my 6," and then they're going into battle.
But we did still get to see some badass Thor. I mean, Thor straight up catches Zeus's lightning bolt.
Yeah, that was badass.
Chucks it back at him, and it goes straight through Zeus.
That was bad.
And you think Zeus is dead until the post-credit scene where it's revealed that he's still alive, and
his son.
But I'm going to just talk about my theory right now, because I think this is going to happen. So,
Hercules, by the way,
Hercules,
for you that don't know.
So, everyone kind of knows how the Infinity Saga went. Each phase had its own like bad guy.
Sure.
We had Loki, Ultron, and then all this builds up to Thanos. So here, I think we're going to go through that same thing, building up to Kang the Conqueror. First Avengers movie, Avengers vs. Hercules.
You think he's strong enough?
Oh, yeah.
Take on all of them?
Oh, Hercules, yeah, he'll beat the shit out of all of them. But here's why I think that. Zeus in the post-credit scene says specifically that the heroes, the superheroes, have made gods a joke. And he sends Hercules specifically after Thor and the other superheroes. Avengers 5, baby.
Let's go. We got it.
I'm so
I'd be excited to see it.
Dude, it'll be so dope.
And how awesome does that be? Because you're right. Like, that statement leans up to, we've been mocked enough.
Yeah.
Like they came, they think that they're on top of the galaxy or the universe at this point. So go and let them know who we are, make a name.
Did you see there was a Jesus cameo?
No.
With the gods? So when they first get there and they're walking through and Valkyrie's like, oh, there's the god of this. Oh, there's the god of that. And then she says, oh, don't look. It's the god of carpentry.
Oh,
dude, it's got to be Jesus. It's got.
I didn't even catch it. Did you see him walking?
No, you don't see him at all.
Okay.
And that's why I think it was him, because, you can't. It would upset a lot of people if they showed him or even said Jesus.
But they threw in a little.
Yeah, it's the god of carpentry. And as soon as I'm like, oh, holy shit! I wonder if that's JC himself,
God
man.
of carpentry and see what it comes.
See if there's a different god. But I thought Gore, from the promo material, I thought Gore looked really silly, but Christian Bale killed it.
Dude, he did
as Gore,
and amazing. And that is to me one of the highlights that made the movie. So I did go in thinking at first. So we just come off of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of Doctor Strange and there was a lot of Wanda. So I thought when I was going to this movie, I was like, damn, we're going to get a Thor movie, but it's going to be like a Guardian of the Galaxy movie. And I was glad that it was only them for like the first 25 minutes. And then, after that, then it was focused on Thor.
I agree.
So we didn't, have that like split, all the time during the movie. We got to follow one character, and that was it. But yeah, Christian Bale, absolutely. I mean, we've seen this guy transform in every movie he
Yeah.
does. The Warrior,
Yeah.
Psycho. I mean, he's done so many transformations of his body throughout all these movies that, he looked frail, but he also played this role of this demon like so well. And just even the way when he drags the sword,
Yeah.
like, dude, it was
Well,
just so
they made him look so
badass.
much more terrifying than the promo material too, especially when it's all dark around him and really all you can see is the eyes
yellow
and
eyes
his
and
teeth.
I thought that was done amazing.
Dude,
Like
it
when
looks
he's like
so
talking to him and you can see like those sharp,
Yeah.
dark teeth. His gums are pitch black.
All
like,
I'm saying
dude, it
is
was
Disney, you own all of this. Take notes because Anakin's Sith eyes in Obi-Wan should have been glowing like that shit. Like I know we saw him glowing a little bit at times. They should have been fucking visible from a mile away in the dark because that shit was amazing.
It was badass. I thought he did an incredible job. Like the emotions he portrayed with his daughter, and then like he battled with that a little bit throughout, and then obviously towards the end, he was a monster. He was
Yeah.
ready to slay some children.
Yeah, oh my lord. Well, and then you one thing I was a little disappointed about. You get this build up to I forget what exactly they're called, but we'll call them the elder gods. Like he's seeking eternity so that he can wish for all gods to die. So you get like this build up where you're in this cave or this temple, I should say,
yeah.
and you've got the Watcher, a statue of the Watcher, a statue of Lady Death, a statue of Infinity, and I'm having a brain fart on the last ones, but it's like you had this big build up, and then all of those ended up being nothing, and then Eternity himself was just like a wishing well, the strongest being in the multiverse, and it's just like, yes, I made it to you first, grant my wish.
Yeah, it was kind of, and I meant to ask you about that too because I didn't understand that. Like, so, you make it to the strongest being in creation, and then it was just like a cutout portrait of a galaxy, and the galaxy and the stars, and like
That was Eternity.
yeah, like so it's like
You could see his face.
but I don't know if I caught that.
It's they made it very light. So unless you're focusing on it, you wouldn't see it. You kind of just see the silhouette, and then like it's a little bit whiter, a little bit grayer, I should say.
so-
But in the comic books, that's how Eternity looks.
Oh, really?
He just looks like a galaxy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then you're right, like and then he's just on his knees, and it's just like a wishing well, like he just thrown
Yeah.
a penny in there and was like, "Hey, this
Like
is
who?
what I want."
Like who did Eternity say that? Like, hey, first one to reach me gets any wish they want. Like, because that's a little silly
right?
to have the person who oversees the multiverse be that petty.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
but
a
that-
little
And then even
taken back.
so in Ragnarok, we got to see this huge arc of Thor where he realizes that he doesn't need his hammer. He's not the god of hammers. He's the god of thunder. And he doesn't need the hammer anymore. And by the end of that movie, like lightning's coming out of his body. And it's like, holy shit, you've got like, what was it? Led Zeppelin going in the background. And like, it's awesome. And then, in here you kind of get kicked in the face as a Thor fan because, Thor sarcastically like grants all of these kids the ability of Thor and gives them these little pieces, and they all can do all this shit that Thor worked thousands of years to be able to do.
I was like,
and they
"That's
can
a
just
little
do it
corny."
like that.
Yeah,
And same with Jane. Like, how'd she learn all that shit so quick? I love you.
well, they made
I
it.
love
They made
you,
it sound
Natalie
like
Portman.
Jane had
Spend
been
the rest
doing
of
it
your
for
life
a
with me.
while.
I'm trying to talk to Natalie. Seriously, I love you. Okay, sorry.
I felt like they made it seem like she had been
Oh yeah,
Lady
because
Thor
like
for
everyone celebrated her when she first landed. And
Right.
like, who's the new guy?
Yeah, like she's been there protecting them for.
Yeah.
Like, well, what's been going on Earth in the last 30 minutes that we haven't seen them?
Yeah.
Like.
But even Jane, some of her abilities, like with Mjolnir coming back together, and like
That
she
was
can throw
badass.
it and it breaks apart and hits multiple people at the same time. That was pretty dope.
That was badass.
That's pretty dope. And then you find out that she was able to wield Mjolnir because Thor accidentally blessed Mjolnir to protect Jane. Like it shows some flashbacks of when they were together, and they're in the bed, and he's like talking to Mjolnir and says, always protect her. And then Mjolnir starts glowing, kind of like when Odin says, "So whoever wields his hammer and is worthy shall have the powers of Thor." Glows like that. Another thing that was kind of stupid. That stupid like Stormbreaker getting jealous thing.
Yeah.
Like it was so funny the first time Like, okay, yeah, Stormbreaker, yeah, haha, sarcastic.
But
Stormbreaker
then having
has a
like
personality.
4 more times, I
But
felt
then,
like
yeah, Stormbreaker actually has a personality and is actually getting jealous. Like, at one point, he's talking to Mjolnir, and then Jane comes and takes Mjolnir away, and then you see Stormbreaker slowly float into frame.
the screen. Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, I'm sorry. But overall, honestly, I thought it was great. It wasn't as good as Ragnarok.
Only thing I wish is like that we would have got like one serious fight scene. Like I felt like every fight scene had to have some kind of comic relief to it. And I'm like, dude, I want to see some seriousness in it. You know, like even when they were fighting the shadow monsters, when he first found Lady Thor on Earth, like they're sitting there talking in the middle of it, and there's like this comedy going on in the middle of it, and it's like.
Well, and that I understood.
People just kidnap children.
Yeah,
so
and that I understood because at the time the children were still there, and those monsters were like just nothing for Thor, so he can sit there and joke around, even though there's innocent Asgardians that might not be able to hold their own like Thor.
Right.
But so I'm a little biased. I know you said like it's not in your top 15, which is really fucking stupid that someone has a top 15 Marvel movies. We won't get into that right now, but it's really fucking.
I'm
dumb.
just talking about all my Marvel movies.
I know there's only 28 of them, Paul.
Well,
but
make top 10.
See, it's hard for me because I have some bias because Thor's my favorite character. So because of that, it's automatically top 5 for me. I'll watch it over and over again because I love Thor. Like I want to do an ancestry test just to see if I'm like Norwegian or Icelandish or like anything to say like I'm part Viking.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a great movie. I enjoyed it. That's just me nitpicking. And I just have other movies that I enjoyed over it, but
like
I would see it again.
Fucking douche.
Like what?
Huh?
Black Widow?
What do you mean?
It was terrible.
What are you talking about? Talking about Game of Thrones? House of Dragons?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Speaking of, let's get some dragons.
So Game of Thrones House of Dragons is a prequel to Game of Thrones. It takes place, hundreds of years, I think they're saying, before the events of season 1 of the Game of Thrones.
Targaryen.
And this was when the Targaryens were in control of the Seven Kingdoms. It is 7 kingdoms, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because now I've got Marvel stuff in my mind, and I almost said something else. But yeah, so the Targaryens
the 7 galaxies.
and the dragons are in control of the 7 kingdoms. So what do you want to see other than people being burned to death? Boobs.
I want to see the same. I want to feel the same feeling that I got when Ned Stark got his head chopped off.
I don't want to feel that.
I want to feel.
I don't want to feel that.
But that's what I loved about Game of Thrones. No one on that show was safe.
That's what I hated about it because it's like
that's what keeps you engaged.
You're like, oh, this Theon Greyjoy, he's not too bad. Oh, what?
Oh, he didn't deserve that.
Did he cut off his?
He cut off his
dick.
Yeah, but I mean, that's to me as my perspective of it is. That's what I loved so much because it creates so much emotion as a viewer, to this show. You're like, oh my God, I love this character. But we should have all known that, Ned Stark, the actor never survives in any movie.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. 007, Lord of the Rings.
Trevelyan, he gets himself burned a little bit too in that. See, maybe he was supposed to survive and get burned by a dragon,
maybe.
Throwback to GoldenEye. But, it's funny. Ned Stark, I was shocked by it, but I'm like, okay, yeah, he's got to die for his children to progress. Wasn't expecting the Red Wedding.
Wasn't expecting, yeah.
Was anybody expecting the Red Wedding?
So let me tell you what no one was expecting.
George R.R. Martin wasn't expecting the fucking Red Wedding.
That's another thing. You're like, holy shit, how does this turn like this? Things are finally going good for this family, and then just nope.
Yeah.
And then Oberian. I'm trying to think. I can't remember his name. When he's fighting the mountain, and you think he's winning. Like, oh, this is going good.
Yeah.
Finally, and you start liking this character. You're like, I love his confidence, his cockiness, and then the next thing you know, he's what you think won, tripped up, head smushed. And you're
anyone who didn't know, that's who plays Din Djarin in The Mandalorian.
Yeah. So you're like, I love that. I love that about the show. No one was safe. They make you fall for these characters, and then people who just piss you off, like Joffrey. You just when you have that much emotion towards somebody,
he dying. Get poisoned, bitch.
It's just good. So I hope there's the same writing and the same character development like that. And I hope you feel like no one's safe. Like, like I hope it.
They have a lot to make up for, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because the final season of I have not met a person who thought the final season of Game of Thrones was good.
No.
We had all these plot points.
I work with somebody
that we watched. Wait, someone thinks it's good?
Yeah, they said they didn't have a problem with it.
Who?
This girl I work with.
Who? I know them all.
Amy.
I don't know Amy.
Yeah, see, you know Amy.
Amy, I'm coming for you.
She.
So my thing, like they had all these plot points throughout the entirety of the show. You know, Jon Snow being the chosen one, essentially.
The White Walkers.
Yeah, and then it's like the final season. They're like, nah, we're fucking around. You know, we didn't mean any of that. We don't have source material for this season, so we're kind of doing this on our own. But I guess George R. R. Martin, even though he hadn't written those books and they were kind of making their own story at that point, you know, they were following his plot points. Yeah. And I feel like it would have been fine, but one, it was rushed. We got 6 episodes where all of this happened. You know, we've got the flip from, oh my God, what's her name? Emilia Clarke's character, Khaleesi. What's her? What do they actually call her though?
Daenerys.
Daenerys. Yeah. So we've got the flip from Daenerys, where she goes from being, you know, the queen we all want and deserve to being a psychotic bitch, and then Jon Snow gets fucking shunned back to the wall for no reason other than helping a bunch of people. They're like, nah, dog, your brother, that little cripple, he's king now. You gotta go back to that wall.
Yeah, we're not gonna kill you, but you could be the Night's Watch.
Yeah,
whatever they
the
call
commander
him.
or whatever.
Yeah, the
and then it's like, you know, Bran, you know, the 3-eyed raven, you know, joking like, yeah, of course I knew this was gonna happen all along. He's like, well, you're a fucking fuck, you know that?
You couldn't have sent a raven to let people know.
Yeah, like you knew your little brother was gonna die.
I hated the fact that they built up these White Walkers for seasons and seasons, like, and then they were just done at, you know.
What I mean, you see one of these White Walkers through a spear through one of Daenerys' dragons, and you're like, holy shit! Like, these guys are no joke.
Which that whole season, like, that was, I think, before the last season, where they're all behind the wall and he throws that, and after she just saved them all.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, holy shit, this is gonna be a wild fight. And then I think literally the fight between the main White Walker and Jon Snow lasted like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was the shortest, and that was like bouncing back and forth between like other things. Yeah. Like, it was just pitiful.
And then Arya just jumps in. And which I'm okay with that for Arya. You know, Arya had a huge character arc too, and I liked her character. But we knew we were going to get off topic like this. We knew 100%.
House of Dragons.
House of Dragons. So one thing that I'm still a little upset about: the Targaryens are supposed to have purple eyes. We didn't see any of that in Game of Thrones. And based off of the trailers for House of Dragons, unless I can't really see it because they're kind of a faint purple, there's still no purple eyes. I want a blonde-haired, purple-eyed.
Well, I feel like we're like in the day and age of CGI that you don't even have to make them wear contacts. You can easily change it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm excited to see some dragons too. Like I said, some great character development. I hope that it lives up to the hype of what Game of Thrones was. Because again, you know, after we stopped following the books and where we left off where he wrote the books, I felt like you could tell right away from the directing that that's where it went downhill. But I hope this all lives up to the expectations of what we enjoyed most about Game of Thrones.
You know, one of the worst things in the world? People who haven't seen Game of Thrones, because they just love to tell you, I've never seen a single episode.
Yeah, like they're proud of it.
Yeah, it's like, dude, we're watching football, and you're just like, I haven't seen Game of Thrones. Like, I don't fucking care. It's like
we weren't even talking about it. Yeah, but I just want to let you guys know.
Yeah, it's like people who are vegan. Like, hey, you know, you want to go see a movie? I'm vegan. Like,
what?
Cool. And people who do CrossFit. It's like, hey, what we want to take my car or yours? I do CrossFit. Like, fuck off, man. I don't even care. But so
people, that's what they put on their Tinder profiles.
Yeah. So if you have so if you have not seen Game of Thrones, feel free to comment that you haven't seen it. Only because we encourage people to comment and speak your mind. I'm probably going to talk some shit back though.
Yeah, I'll be in there too.
But you know, on that topic, we've got the Jon Snow show, and So this has been a rumor for a while. Kit Harington, I remember reading an article. I never verified the source, but Kit Harington, I heard, had even had his own team put together a script and stuff, and they showed it to HBO and George R.R. Martin, and they're like, "Yeah, let's do this shit.
Let's give it a green light."
Yeah, and it's been a rumor, it's been speculation up till this point. We have confirmed, we just went and looked at it now, on George R.R. Martin's actual website, on his personal blog, he has confirmed that a Jon Snow series is in production as we speak. We don't know if it's a prequel or a sequel, though. I would imagine it's a sequel.
Yeah.
What's going on with him on the wall.
I felt like the rumors that I've seen were a sequel. So like Life Beyond, and I can't imagine what stories we'll hear with the White Walkers being dead and what they can do with the wall, but more things that maybe Bran asks him to come back and, help him with something, or maybe come and be his Kingsguard. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm a little curious as to what the antagonist would be, because even the different beings beyond the wall, like the giants, for example, they all came together at the end of Game of Thrones to fight the Army of the Dead and the White Walkers. And Army of the Dead and the White Walkers are gone from what we know. So who's the bad guy? Who is our Jon Snow, who is near and dear to my heart? Who's he gonna fight? I
think there's always going to be a greed type of thing. People still wanting the throne, feeling like they deserve the rights to the throne. So it'll be interesting.
Robb Stark comes back from the dead and they fight.
Yeah. Joffrey comes back from the dead and rules again. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. I'm excited for it. Like I said, anything Game of Thrones we can get, I hope it delivers. I guess we'll get a good idea of House of Dragons on what we can expect with Jon Snow.
I agree.
You get, some good
and
storylines
even
there.
the production quality and stuff like that, because we've seen a lot of new shows come out, Halo. Production quality wasn't as great as it probably could have been for a Paramount Plus TV series.
But HBO spent a lot of money.
Yeah, HBO typically they'll go all out, and for this being a Game of Thrones return, I'm expecting a lot from.
And I think they know they have to make up for loss. I think there's a lot of disappointment there, and I think they know that. But again, I don't think they really care about what everybody thinks. They put out a show, made a ton of money. And...
They're like, oh, hey, you see how thick my wallet is? I can't sit down. I don't care about your opinion.
Oh, this is my second wallet. Oh.
I have a random fun fact for you before we cut to go to the gaming segment.
What is it?
Did you know in Star Wars Episode 1, the actor who plays Darth Maul, Ray Park, never blinks?
How does he sleep?
No, in the movie, he never blinks a single time.
Really?
Because the contact lenses hurt his eyes, so he would just stare. So every scene that you see him, he's just staring. He never blinks.
Damn, you would think your eyes would get so dried out. Mine were just getting dried out right there staring at you. Real quick before we move off into gaming, another movie that comes out, and this just real quick, comes out on Netflix. It's a Netflix original.
That fan isn't helping me. It's
is The Gray Man. So Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Billy Bob Thornton are all in it, and it's actually directed by the Russo brothers, so same guys that made one of your favorite war movies, Extraction. And they've done a lot of Marvel movies, Avengers.
And honestly, Netflix original movies are getting pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. So I guess when Ryan Gosling's not doing Barbie, he's a hitman. So so it'll be cool. Check that one out. It comes out on the 22nd.
Plastic.
Again,
it's
House
fantastic.
of Dragons.
You can brush my hair
Later this year, and then we'll fill you in on more Jon Snow stuff when it comes up. And Jake's gonna continue singing into our break. And we'll see you guys for gaming segment.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Yeah. Welcome back to the MGS podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. And here we are moving into our game segment. We got two pretty interesting things to talk about today. So we got
I knew it. I
had it in my head. Battlefield 3. What was it?
I was about to type it up on the screen because I knew you were gonna forget.
Ultimate Reality? Dude, I don't know why I had it in my head, and then when I went to that fucking segment, I was like, why did I just fucking Braveheart about this?
Oh man, it's Project Reality.
Project Reality. Project Reality. Project Reality. Those are... Welcome back to the MGS podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. Moving in here to our second segment, which we're going to be talking about some games here. We got two interesting games we're going to be bringing up today. One is going to be Project Reality, which is a Battlefield 3 enhancement.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be talking about a Terminator Survival game, which I'm actually really excited to talk about that. A lot of things that we want to see out of it. We got our little teaser trailer from the Terminator game, and we're going to talk about that and what we expect.
Do you want to start with that? Because I kind of want to talk about that right now.
I'm definitely down about that.
So
T80s.
So we know nothing about this game.
Zero.
There was a 7-second teaser, if you even want to call it that.
It looked good.
Yeah, I mean, it shows like a room, and then all of a sudden you see a T80 come in, and then it's like Terminator.
Arnold completely naked.
Completely naked.
Completely.
Hung like a motherfucking horse. So all we know is it is a Terminator survival game. So we're about to use our imagination and tell you
you're coming along for the
you're
ride.
Gonna come, and we're gonna try to put ourselves in a world of a Terminator survival game, because I feel like in a gaming market that, in my opinion, has gone stale, especially on PC, with zombie survival games.
Sure.
It's all we have are zombie. Like, all these console gamers are like, oh, I want a PC so I can play what? Every zombie survival game? There's fucking 50,000 of them at
Plants
this point.
vs. Zombies?
Exactly. That's on console, too, then. It's pretty fun. So, you've got DayZ. It's a big one. We talked about one last podcast, the day before. That's another zombie survival game coming out. But, let's talk about survival games. So, essentially, you're a character, and you got to survive. It was pretty...
There's not much more to it than that, folks.
So, it's not about going in and, winning a game. It's literally you're going in to live. And if you die, you're probably never going to play the game again in a lot of these survival games. But just picture a game that you would normally be chased by zombies, where you're looting a house. You being a PUBG guy, we'll throw PUBG because that was based off of a survival game. Imagine you're looting, you're getting ready, you're ready to go, and a T-80 breaks down that door.
Indestructible.
Yeah, and instead of running from, zombies that in DayZ you can just walk around them, these are T-80s that can shoot at you, they can run. And who knows what other kind of Terminators we're going to get in here.
Right.
We might get one of them liquid fucks.
I'd imagine, I can just picture, it just being, an entire... I can't imagine there being, a whole lot of, buildings that are, I imagine it being a war scene like we always saw in Terminator.
The future premonitions and stuff.
Right. So I would think that this game's probably going to go into the future, and it's you have to prevent the T-80s or whatever, and then that's how the storyline they're going to put it. And
is that what they're called? Is it T-80? I feel like it is T-80.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We should have talked about that before.
Yeah, because I'm all of a sudden doubting myself on if it's called a T-80, and I just said T-80, and now I have you rolling with T-80.
Yeah, I believed you. T-80.
Something's bothering me that nothing came
Oh,
up.
God, it's a tank.
Fudge.
But yeah, either way, whatever they're called, Terminator T-600.
Is it T-600?
I don't know, but that doesn't sound right. Oh my God, it
is T-600. Dude, I swore it was T-80.
Yeah,
okay,
well.
we won't get into that. So yeah, you're gonna have T-600s chasing you instead of zombies. Can you imagine that? You might have some of them liquid
shit my
fucks.
pants.
Yeah, so I see the same thing. I see a war-torn world. Everything is blown up. I wonder if they're gonna have the drones.
Searching around. So I imagine that's going to be nighttime.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any daytime nights. So they're going around. You have to hide from those.
Well, if it's a survival game, it's going to be day and night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe it's it's like one of those things where maybe like the best loot appears at night.
Ooh.
So they kind of encourage you to leave your safe zone or whatever at night. Dude, I got to be a game developer. This brain.
What was the oh my god, what was the game we used to play all
Saving
the time?
Private Ryan.
No,
Oh, the game we used to play?
where at nighttime.
Oh, Dying Light.
Dying Light.
Yeah.
Remember at nighttime it was better loot?
Dude, you'd get...
Dude, imagine that's what it's like, is those guys come out at night, and during the day
Yeah.
it's a little bit more free.
I got into an argument with some random dude about Dying Light. This was a couple years ago. Because, like those like reddish, demented creatures that would come out at night. We always called them nightmares.
Yeah.
Just because they were a thing of fucking nightmares. They
I dreamed about them and they were scary.
And like I'm talking to someone, but this was before Dying Light 2 came out, and I'm talking about Dying Light 2 and what I hope to see, and I'm telling the story of the first time that you and I encountered one of those at night. And you've got me and Paul playing on PlayStation with the controller, like telling us it's getting dark, you only have this much time, hurry, go, go, go. And then all of a sudden one of these things sounds like, ah!
Scream. Yeah, dude, it was terrifying.
And
that game was awesome.
So I called it a nightmare, and this guy's like, it's not called a nightmare, it's called a... What did he say? Volatile. I'm like,
T600.
I'm like, first of all, you little shit. It's called a nightmare. If you want to fight me, we can fight. I'm a pretty big guy. But yeah, this is a T600. So I don't know, man. Like I get excited because we get the same game formulas over and over and over again. And we've talked many times about people taking a formula but then making it their own.
Right.
We don't have a Terminator game.
Isn't it weird that this is like the first game that they've like?
Yeah, like there have been
out there.
Terminator games, but it's always just been like your Doom type shooter,
right?
Like you're just run and gun crazy shooters. And when you think about that post-apocalyptic, Jesus shit, can you say it for me?
Post-apocalyptic.
Oh my god, I can't.
Apocalyptic.
That fucked up future. When you think about it, like. It's about survival. It's not about run and gun against a bunch of T600s. Like it's about surviving. And now someone is finally making a survival game about the Terminator franchise. And that just, to me, that's them taking that formula and making it their own.
So let me ask something. Who's making the game?
Let's find out, because honestly, I don't know. If I
recall,
recall,
is this something that's being like the game we talked about last week? Is it something that's being cached by fans right now, and like there's developers? It's like
it is being made by, and I could be pronouncing this wrong, Nacon.
So I don't even know if that's a big game developer that that we know for sure this is going to go through. Like, I mean, how far are they in the works? Was there a release date?
It's a French video game company. Yeah, dude, they haven't made anything
promising.
crazy. They are doing a Test Drive remake of some sort. That's kind of cool. Test Drive Unlimited.
A lot different from a Terminator game.
A lot different than... I mean, they made a tennis game. Okay. But yeah, so it seems that they're probably a smaller developer. Looks like they also make gaming peripherals. But yeah, so it seems like they're a smaller developer. But, sometimes that's better for everybody, because I feel like some of these AAA developers, they get so comfortable in their profits. And I mean, look at the way the AAA gaming market is going now. It's all about purchasable cosmetics.
Yeah.
Every game is all about what cosmetics they can sell you.
Thank you, Call of Duty.
Fortnite started it, but in Fortnite's, it's a free game. And yes, I get Warzone is also free. So you can, get that for free and then buy your cosmetics, but no, it's not the same as Fortnite, a completely free game selling cosmetics.
Right.
And I hate where the gaming industry is going. These indie developers, I feel like they're the true heroes of the gaming world right now. So this could be pretty great. I mean, just looking at that picture of that T600 right there is amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, the graphics looked like it was pretty well done.
Of course,
but again,
cinematic graphics.
We'll have to see.
Who knows?
We'll have to see, where it goes here in a couple months. We'll continue to, kind of keep an eye on it, and then fill you guys in too, especially if we get another trailer. But it's probably something we can so short we could probably pop it up here so you guys
Oh
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
it.
I think it's 9 seconds. So at some point we may have already played it as well. We'll see. But yeah, so there's not a lot of details about it at all right now, which is why Paul and I have kind of just been talking about what we'd like to see it. But they're saying that it could explore the formation of the Resistance. But even that, if it's going to be a survival game, I can't picture other people being there. If it's going to be a multiplayer survival game, of course you're going to have to worry about the Terminators and other people, because people are going to try to steal your shit. Because we all know in a real world, if a catastrophe like this happened, we'd be our own worst enemy. Walking Dead explored that really well.
What about if you could choose
To be
in this open world and you could choose to be a T-600 or
That'd be dope. That'd be dope, but that'd be kind of copying, like, what are those games called? Like Dead by Daylight, where you can be like Jason Voorhees, and you go and you can be a survivor or a person or Jason, and you have to try to survive Jason hunting you. If you haven't played that yet, it's pretty cool.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly
Yeah,
what
I
you're
played that
talking about.
last year,
But yeah, I hope that it's obviously done well. That's what we all hope. I hope it plays well. Graphics at this point aren't even terribly important to me. If it's a fun game and it has shitty graphics, I'll still play it. If I can get 20, 30, 40 gameplay hours out of it, because that's hard to do in a lot of games now. Because you turn the game on and you're like, this is dog shit.
Yeah. Well, not only is that, but you still have to have player count. So you got to get people involved to play to make the game exciting. Unless they got some really good advanced AIs in there, that's going to make it interesting. But but we'll see. So like I said, we'll fill you in when we hear more about it.
It is set for release on PC and consoles. Here's the downfall: in the distant future.
So
we're probably a few years out. Yeah. So
so I wonder if we'll see a little bit more about it. Maybe in E3 next year.
Yeah, E3 they did confirm. By the way, E3 will be an in-person event next year. It'll be the first time since the COVID era.
God,
so
we got to start tagging them and everything. So maybe we can get some tickets to go and
dude, I'd love to go to E3.
Cool.
I think we got to go anyway. Just like we can do a live stream from E3. Let us know what you guys think. We'll start some like crowdfunding. You guys can pay for us to go to E3. I don't want to pay.
Yeah,
for
we'll
it.
tell you all about it.
Yeah,
we
won't
have a good time. So
I've got good cameras. We'll take pictures. So moving on to Project Reality. You guys might have heard that name. If you watch every podcast, you might have heard that name before. You would have heard it the first time that we talked about Squad, when we were talking about Battlefield alternatives. Squad was originally a mod for Battlefield Bad Company 2, and the mod is called Project Reality. It's a modding team. They take the Battlefield games that we love and they expand them into these more so military simulators. The original team that made the first Project Reality, they went on to convert that game into Squad. So the Squad game that we know now, that has amazing graphics, these giant maps, amazing sound effects, the visuals are stunning, that started as a Project Reality mod.
All that didn't happen overnight.
No.
I mean, that took a few years.
It took like 5 years
from the
after
gameplay
Project
we watched
Reality.
of this looked pretty good. Looked
Yeah.
like they were,
Well,
I think they have a lot of people playing it now.
Yeah.
Kind of testing it out.
The good thing is Battlefield 3 holds up graphically, and Battlefield 4, of course, hold up graphically to a lot of games that are coming out now. Of course, everything is going to seem a little bit fuzzier, a little bit more pixelated than like our high quality 4K games now. But overall, the graphics hold up really well. So, they take...
sometimes, like you said before, the Terminator, graphics aren't always everything. As long as you got a good
if you have
gameplay
a great
you
game,
can invest some good hours into and it feels good,
mm-hmm.
And it runs naturally, then, you're not going to have a problem playing on something that's a little bit lower quality.
Well, and, a lot of the content creators that I watch on YouTube, just to name drop a few of them, because, we can tag them in this as well. Jack Frags, huge Battlefield content creator. Tomographic, Big Fry, all of them got to play this over this past weekend. And these are all huge Battlefield fans who have been disappointed with the direction of Battlefield. I mean, Jack Frags is damn near an EA insider. I mean, he gets invited to all of their events. He gets sponsored videos from them. And, I mean, he played it, and, they all think that this is the best Battlefield that we've gotten in a long time. And it's based off of a mod Of
from
a what, 11, 12-year-old
12-year-old
Battlefield
game.
3 game?
God, because Battlefield 4, which we still played a lot for a while, was 2013, I think.
Yeah, so we're talking maybe 2010.
Maybe before that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Well, I guess those games were really close together. It was like
Yeah.
that time we were getting like every year and a half
Yeah.
a new game.
So maybe 2011, 2010, something like that. But yeah, it's been out for a long time, and so they took it and they made it into Squad. I mean, that's the easiest way to describe it. If you've heard us talk about Squad, that's a lot of the way that this Project Reality mod is going to be. PC only. You need to own a copy of Battlefield. As long as you own a copy of Battlefield 3, you can go and download the mod for free.
You own Battlefield 3.
You have to own Battlefield 3, which you can get now for like 10 cents online, so it's not a huge deal if you don't own it. But from the videos that I've watched from the content creators that I've seen covering the game, it's I don't want to say a dumbed down version of Squad, but it's an easier to play version.
A little more user friendly.
Is that an ad playing? Get out of here, ad.
Yeah, it's looks like a lot more user friendly of a game for sure.
Yeah, because right now it looks like the Battlefield mechanics with a changed user interface, of course, to make it more scenario like. You know, you can't see your ammo counter. There's no mini map.
Almost like a hardcore mode.
Yeah. So, but it looks pretty good. They kept the destruction of Battlefield 3 in there, which, I mean, Bad Company 2 kind of.
Is there building destruction in Squad?
I want to say there isn't.
So that's a plus.
Yeah, because I swear that I've been like rocketed in the building that I'm in, and I don't recall the building being destroyed. I know you can shoot through a lot of the buildings, but I don't think it creates big bullet holes like how we used to see in the Battlefield games. So they kept a lot of that destruction, which is pretty cool. I mean, it comes out on the 17th of this month, PC only. Again, you have to own a copy. We're going to play it.
I'll come over. We'll play it.
Yeah.
Hop on there.
Yeah. Well, I didn't ask you.
Oh, you're telling me.
Yeah, I'm telling you we're going to play it. We'll live stream it. Nice. But so for those of you who still just are waiting for that Battlefield game because 2042 wasn't for you, Battlefield 5 wasn't for you, this could be for you. You know, it's a new take. I don't want to say a new take. It's a revamped take on Battlefield. And I mean, me personally, I'm still having fun in 2042. I still swear by this new map that they had released this first season. I think it's amazing. I mean, I still play on the 24/7 playlist where I'm only playing Conquest on that map just because it's
even so for them just to bring in even the older maps, you know, that we mentioned before and allow you to play those now outside of Portal is fantastic.
Yeah, because now, you know, I know we were talking about Project Reality, but there isn't much to talk about other than what we just said. But, you know, to hop in a little bit about 2042, you know, they did add a mode called Exodus Conquest. It's in the all-out warfare mode. It's not in Portal, but it throws in some of those old maps from, you know, Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, and Battlefield 1942 into the main rotation. We're expecting to see some Portal guns making their way into all-out warfare as well outside of Portal, so that'll be cool. I mean, that game still needs a lot of work in terms of content, but in terms of gameplay, they're there now.
I'm gonna throw something on you. What did you think about that? I forget the name of it. The pirate game that was sent in the group chat.
When?
E sent it, I think, a week ago.
Are you talking about the pirate game that I shared on our?
Was that you that shared
Instagram page?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. Well, either way, I saw it on one of the pages that you had pulled up there, so I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, we saw the trailer for that recently. Follows the...
Why is that ad playing? Get out of here, ad. Was it on this page?
I don't know if it was on this page.
I think you're lying to me.
No, I think it was on one of the other pages that we saw, but...
Maybe. But, yeah, I know there's a
right there.
Oh, yeah, that's, oh my God, no, I can't think of the name of it, but I had posted it on our Instagram.
I didn't know you put it on there. I didn't see that part.
Yeah, it's a Ubisoft pirate game. Okay, that's not what I wanted.
Which Ubisoft makes a lot of great content, so I thought, I was like, oh, this looks like it was done really well. It looks like there's a lot of battles on the ocean with your ships,
Yeah.
and quality wise looked really good. So yeah, I thought it looked pretty sweet. Yeah, there it is.
Skull and Bones. Yeah.
July 7th.
Oh yeah,
So
we were supposed to get a reveal trailer. I actually have not seen it, so that's definitely something we can talk about on the podcast next week. Ubisoft's take on pirates. We've already seen that with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but that was still an Assassin's Creed game where you were a pirate, so it was a little. I know it was a lot of people's favorite Assassin's Creed game, but I'm always down for pirates, man. I love
yeah,
pirates.
I thought it looked really good. I was like, wow, looks like
if I can pillage. Like I'm gonna
imagine like swinging from one ship to the other in a fucking battle, and then you get to go over there and you're sword fighting up close.
That'd be pretty cool.
Dope.
Unlock Captain Jack Sparrow at some point.
Bottle of rum.
Hopefully he doesn't have shit on his bed.
Yeah, and watch out, Amber Heard.
Amber Turd.
Amber Turd.
But yeah, so that'll wrap things up for our gaming segment. We're gonna take a break. I'm gonna utilize the latrine.
Yeah,
and
a little sports segment coming up here.
Yeah,
we got a lot of great shit to come out. We don't even know what we're talking about yet, but there's a lot of great shit coming in sports. So
we'll see you guys in a few.
I still can't believe Vin Diesel is fucking Groot.
Dude,
pay him a shit ton of money just to fucking say 6 words.
Paid a ton. And then they put it through a fucking voice modulator to make him sound young.
It's crazy.
I'm pretty sure it was Chris Hemsworth's daughter.
You say his wife was in it too?
No. She was in Thor Dark World, though.
Oh.
Not what you think. It was a scene where he's kissing Natalie Portman. It was a reshoot. Natalie Portman wasn't able to make it for the reshoot, so they had his wife, who's about the same size as Natalie Portman, be the kiss. So the kiss with Jane is actually him kissing his wife. Yeah.
Couldn't make it. Jealousy.
Dude, I would have. His wife is definitely hot, but Natalie Portman's on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying?
How did you like her character in the...
I loved it. Anything with her. I don't even care what she's saying. I just need to look at her. Welcome back to the MGS podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. We have reached the final segment of our podcast, which is about sports.
And it's about to go down.
Is it? You know when it's going to go down.
58 days from now, the NFL will be back, baby. Hooday Nation and Cheesehead Nation.
I was going to say, I feel like Cheesehead Nation should have been first, but we have more fans. Who's keeping track? We sell out every game we play. But
hey, we will this year, that's for sure. They've already sold out their season tickets earlier this year, so they're ready to go.
Yeah, you got all them people hopping on that bandwagon.
Hey, I don't even care, bro. Bring in that crowd for Joey B, baby!
So, yeah, we were 58 days away from NFL kickoff. As everyone knows who watches this, Paul and I, we love sports. But above all, we love football. Like, I bleed green and gold. Paul greens...
Greens? I greens money.
He bleeds purple, which is
purple?
Weird.
Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, that's what I'm a little concerned. But speaking of the Baltimore Ravens and the AFC North, has nothing to do with them.
Baker Mayfield, the most hated player in football right now, apparently, from every team out there.
I don't know.
Dude, surprised. Nobody picked him up.
Which is kind of crazy to me, because...
I was baffled.
He's not one of my top 15 Marvel movies.
We talked about the Deshaun Watson thing.
But he's
you and this whole top 15 Marvel shit, man.
But he's a good quarterback. He's a quarterback that would get you to the playoffs where you can lose in the first round.
You know who doesn't think
like
he's a good
Andy
quarterback?
Dalton and
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson. Yeah.
Baker Mayfield might be going to the Carolina Panthers. No! Well, that tweet and that Instagram aged very well.
Awkward.
Yeah. Imagine walking in the Baker. I could just see Baker walking up to him in the locker room and be like, hey, what's up, man?
Well, Baker having the big mouth that he has too, like he's gonna make it uncomfortable. Cause
I think he'll go in there and take ownership. I think he's gonna have a lot. I think he's feeling a little salty right now.
yeah,
I think he's gonna have a lot of motivation going in this year. I hope that he's picked up that rock there in the offseason and like really worked on himself.
yeah,
And not drowned in depression that they brought in Deshaun Watson and he got slapped in the face. Like use that as motivation and be the Baker that we saw in college.
yeah, because it'll make you or break you for Baker Mayfield. Like he's gonna go out and show that he is a starting quarterback in this league, or he's gonna prove that the Browns were right in letting him walk.
Yeah. Imagine if he turns that around and, they end up making a playoff run.
Yeah.
Or something. I mean, he's got the arm to do it.
Well,
doesn't have the accuracy, but maybe that's things he worked on in the offseason.
One thing I've always liked about Baker, he's fun to watch. He legitimately is. You being an AFC North guy, he's coming from a rival team. It might not be the same for you.
And maybe now.
But for me, yeah. But for me, he's always been fun to watch because his personality when he plays, he's very personable on the field. And
he shows his emotions a lot.
He reminds me a lot of a young Brett Favre, which I know that comparison's been made. Even on his draft day, he dressed up like Brett Favre.
Oh, did he?
With the jorts and yeah. So like I think it was him that did that anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was him. But I enjoy watching him play, and I hope he does well over there in Carolina. I never hope for bad things on anyone besides Tom Brady.
You know who's not going to enjoy watching him play game one?
Who?
The Browns.
Oh, the Browns, yeah.
Because he's playing against the Browns, and they're going to pay him $585,000 to try to beat them.
Just everything that goes to Cleveland runs away scared.
Dude.
Baker Mayfield, LeBron James, Machine Gun Kelly.
Eminem scared Machine Gun Kelly.
And Eric, I know LeBron wasn't scared. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't mean to offend you, but I did.
But yeah, we're going to give you guys a heads up right now. When NFL season kicks off, we might as well change our name to the MGN podcast for movies, games, and NFL because we're going to be talking a lot about football. Of course, we'll still give you all of the highlights that's going on in the NBA and MLB at the time. But
NBA will be starting up towards November, and then you have the greatest part of baseball, which is the playoffs come October. Yeah. So a lot of great things will be going on then. But, yeah, definitely we'll be talking about a lot of college football, and we'll be talking about a lot of NFL football. Everything else is just, snickle fritz.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of snickle fritz. Kind of like when we first started the podcast, just fresh off of NFL season, and, we were all about it, and people were like,
hype.
You guys talk too much about football. It's stupid. Fuck you.
Yeah, hold D's.
Sorry for anyone who was just offended by that. I didn't mean it.
But we did.
But, speaking of, MLB and the finest time of the season coming up, how about them Angels?
Fuck, dude. You know what hurts the most?
That they started off so hot?
Dude, so they started off, I think it was 27-11 or something like that. I was pumped. I was like, yo, this is the year. We have arguably, it's not even an argument. We have two of the top 5 players in the MLB right now.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. And both of them are healthy. And we've literally won 11 games. I think it's like now we've gone like 11 and like 22 or something, or like it's something ridiculous.
He's such a sweetheart.
Who? Which one?
Ohtani.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude.
Like
Showtime.
Yeah, like he thinks like the ump is trying to shake his hand. He's like, yeah, man, but he's checking him. But he was so excited.
Innocent,
he's like, yeah, like, and then he's he hits his hand and he's walking by, but then he gets pulled back by the ump so he can check his hand.
I wish we could do like a collage of like all the clips. They mess with him so hard in that dugout and give him such a hard time, but it's all all in fun and games. So it's sad. It's depressing because number one, we paid Mike Trout a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And in order to keep Shohei Ohtani, we're gonna have to pay him a shit ton of money. And arguably, he might be one of the highest paid baseball players in the league after this because he's a two-way player. He will pitch, and he is lights out right now. He is on fire when he's on that mound. And then he's got the bat. I mean, he's every year hitting the home runs to stay in the lead, stay in the chase with everything. Last year he was up there. And, it sucks, because he's expressed that he wants to win in his time baseball. So a lot of people think that he's young, but he's already 28 years old. He started in Japan, so played a lot of ball over there, and then came over here at a little bit what we would consider older age. And it's going to be tough,
Well, on the plus side for the Angels, there's like an entire movie they made about a miracle with the Angels. Little movie called Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah, well, we're like 11 games back from even a wild card spot right now. So this would be very much like that movie if they can turn this around. And some boy might get adopted if they make it to the playoffs.
You're going to see Mike Trout all of a sudden fly 38 feet in the air. He's going to look so confused, and he's going to catch a ball. And he's like, oh, my gosh.
What's going on right
what
now?
Happened? Otani's going to throw a fucking 114-mile-per-hour fastball. But it's going to, like, spin the whole way there.
Well, they all spin.
No, I'm not talking I'm not talking about like that. I'm talking about the ball is going to move in a weird fucking motion that only an angel could be grabbing.
Curveball or knuckleball
motherfucker.
Or a slider or a sinker. Spitball.
See what I deal with?
I'll tell you what, though. You know what's on fire right now? The Yankees.
Yeah.
I think the league's most hated team because of their trash-ass fan base. Started off the season throwing stuff out at the players on the field from the opposing team, and they're just on fire. I think they have literally like 61. I think they're at 61 wins, and I think that's like 8 games ahead of the closest team right now. So
since you brought that up, I want to give a quick shout out to 2 groups of fans: our New York, New Jersey area fans, and our Philly fans. Do you have to be a piece of shit?
Everything you guys do.
Anytime you guys do anything, you're like, yeah, let's trash the fucking city.
Burn it down.
Like we won the Super Bowl. Kill everybody.
Oh, you're an Eagles fan? Who cares?
Dude, like, come on, man. Y'all, like, the good thing about any Phillies or New York / Jersey fans is, like, they show you exactly how not to act. So, like, if you ever want to show, like, a documentary about, football or baseball etiquette, just be like, don't do this shit.
And then put a little highlight reel of the Yankee fans.
And that's all they got to do. But, some people just, they're not, like, especially the Eagles, they're not used to winning. So they're like, oh, my God, we won. What do we do?
They have a
do
more
we
recent
burn
Super
down
Bowl
the
than
mall?
me, so I can't say anything. So.
I have a more recent one than me, too, but...
That's true.
That's because,
Damn it, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, you son of a
you
bitch.
damn Philly special.
You son of a mother chucker. But, Philly special. So, whenever I think about the Philly special, I think about betrayal. And when I think about betrayal, I think about the PGA Tour.
Dude.
And what's
There's
going on.
a lot of controversy, especially with the U.S. Open, happening and starting this week. Everybody's getting their practice rounds in, and, Friday I don't forget if it's Thursday or Friday, they'll kick it off. Tiger Woods has expressed his, feelings now. The GOAT coming out and saying how he can't believe that these guys have betrayed the PGA and going to play for this new Saudi Arabia golf league, which is called LIV Golf,
which translates
live to 54 golf, but live golf is what it will, ultimately translate to. So you're seeing a lot of huge names, go and, Phil Mickelson, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia. Mm-hmm. Those are big names to go over. And you have to, when you don't really know, you're like, well, what's it matter if they're going over there? And,
like, I'm just going to play golf.
Then I looked and I was like, well, look at the fucking money that they're paying these guys.
Yeah, Phil Mickelson, rumored, nothing official, but rumored $200 million
And I think Brooks Koepka got something like that. I'm pretty sure Bryson DeChambeau got something like that.
I think I read somewhere that the minimum contract was like 25 mil or something like that. I read.
I saw this crazy thing on Instagram the other day, like where they're flying them on this private jet, and these jets are massive, and like there's these huge like VIP cocktail rooms on these jets, and I'm like, who doesn't want to live that lifestyle? At this
Yeah.
point, who cares who you're
I
betraying?
mean-
They're paying me $200 million.
If I had the option to stop flying Spirit Airlines and go on something like that, I'd do it.
You know, I immediately thought too, like I was like, okay, so they're gonna go get $200 million, and then immediately I was like, all right, well, Brooks Koepka is sponsored by Nike. Is Nike gonna drop
Oh,
him?
100%.
You know, I mean, so they're gonna lose out on a ton of money. Like I think Bridgestone is no longer gonna sponsor, which is a golf ball company. Is no longer going to sponsor Bryson DeChambeau. They've terminated their contract with him, so they're going to lose out on a lot of money that way. So
Yeah.
you have to weigh the option. Like, all right, well, the PGA Tour, maybe you were making X amount of dollars here, and then you're also making so much money off of commercial endorsements that it's like, does that make the
Yeah.
difference for you to burn that bridge?
And we're never going to get political on here. We may sometimes talk about opinions that people have, not us specifically, but people have. And I know one of the opinions where this betrayal is coming is, Saudi is, for lack of a better word, it's, blood money is paying for all this stuff. And, everyone has their own opinions on the Saudi government, and we're not going to get into any of that, but that's where they feel this level of betrayal, because they feel like they're going to work for an organization that paved their way with blood. And I'm not going to comment on whether I agree with that or not, but yeah, black oil.
Yeah.
Good old black blood.
So
is what I meant to say.
And I'm sure everybody knows, our history of being over there and everything. So, I can understand that point of view. So you think with all the funding that they have, you would think like, why? I guess the PGA Tour, they're taking away these big names for the PGA Tour, so they think at this point they're taking away, viewers and things like that. But will there be like tournaments against each other, like U.S. versus, like how we have?
Maybe someday. I can't see it happening anytime
Right.
soon. Right.
Well, yeah, because all the bad blood right now.
I mean, but and I get it. They're taking away these big names, but let's be honest. There's one name that still brings everyone's eyes to golf, and that's Tiger Woods.
Dude,
And
when I go out and watch tournaments like the Bay Hill tournament, dude, people flock to go watch Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they're out there to see other players too, but the amounts of people who go and just follow Tiger Woods is absolutely mind-blowing. You can watch it on the Masters. You can watch it this week on the U.S. Open.
Well, Tiger Woods, he's a once-in-a-lifetime
100%
athlete. And, some people may comment on me saying athlete for a golf player. You've never played golf before. This shit is fucking hard.
It is a very frustrating sport. I love to play it. I get out there and play every now and then, and it's frustrating. There is
I get out there to
definitely
hit grass.
physical aspect to it as well, because it's demanding.
How many times when I went play with you and Jason, how many times did I miss that ball in a row?
I think it was like 4 or 5 times. That was so fun. That was on my birthday.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. But what happens with it? Who knows? I'm a firm believer in having more options. Just like we've been begging for a successful American Football League with the other than the NFL, so we can watch more football. And basketball, they kind of have it. You've got the summer league, which is it's new prospects, freshly drafted people, people they picked up from wherever, but it's still a league. They're actually going to give out rings now too to like the summer league champion, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Because it still shows that they came out and worked their ass off. But so if this Saudi thing works out, power to those guys. It sucks that a franchise that's as deeply rooted in world history as the PGA Tour
I get the frustration from players, but I don't feel bad for the PGA Tour. I mean, those guys have made so much fucking money. It's been ridiculous. So do I get mad that now you have to share that with some other network type golf, league? Not really.
Yeah.
Do I understand from Tiger Woods' point of view? Yeah, a little bit. But again, I can't say myself if someone offered me $250 million to go play another, and that was so much more. I mean, I'm assuming these guys are still going to be sponsored by foreign countries, maybe
Oh
foreign
yeah,
cars,
yeah.
outside of the U.S. So they're still going to get those endorsements. So
All I'm saying, I would do some weird shit for $200 million. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, you did that one weird thing for Dr. Pepper.
I don't like to talk about it. I
So
remember. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's a homeless guy. He's like, yeah, if you give me a Dr. Pepper. Well, anyway, yeah. I mean, it's the we don't understand being, lower, middle, lower, higher, whatever class you are. We don't understand some of these people like, oh, 25 million isn't enough. I want 200 million. But, these people have families. They've got wives. They've got kids.
I mean,
I'm not going to argue with someone who's, like you said, I'm not going to argue with someone who's taking an increase in pay to go play the sport that they love to play just for more money.
I'm sorry, but 200 million, that's generational wealth right there.
Yeah.
What you can invest with that money and make for your kids.
I would spend it so fast.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, because we're financially stupid. So
I'm already broke and I'm buying all this shit.
so it's like, I mean, that's I don't blame it at all. If I look at it and I try to put myself in that perspective, I'm like, well, I would take that money.
Yeah.
And
even, coming down to other sports, I've always had my opinion, we've talked about it before, like different football athletes, like accepting an extra $1 million to go here. That always kind of irks me, $1 million to betray the loyalty of your fans. That'll irk me, but at the same time, I get it. You know what else irks me? I just thought of this.
What?
Fucking Kevin Durant. What the hell?
Dude.
Like Kyrie opts in for his what was his fifth year, or his not his, I almost said fifth year option. I'm thinking of a different game right now. But he opts in for that 36 mil.
Yeah.
To return to the Nets.
45.
Now, mind you, he still could have left the Nets. He still can. So that wasn't guaranteeing that he was going to stay with the Nets. But then you've got Kevin Durant requesting a trade. He just finished the fucking, second year of his contract first? Yeah, second
Third,
year.
I think it's the third year.
Yeah, and it's like it was a 5-year deal, and he's requesting a trade. And, the teams that he name drops that he wants to possibly go and play for is like the Phoenix Suns, who...
Or the Warriors.
Yeah,
I think the Warriors were in contention with him now.
The Suns or the Warriors weren't the second team that he had originally said, but yeah, I know the Warriors are in contention now. But he wants to go and play for a team that is already built. And people gave LeBron James shit for ring chasing. I feel like Kevin Durant is a little bit different type of ring chasing. Like LeBron James, he would help, especially in his prime. He'd help build a team. And when he went back to Cleveland, not saying he built it. Kyrie was there, of course. Kevin Love was there, who was playing pretty good ball at the time. But he wasn't like, hey, who's the best team in the league? Who wants me? I'm gonna bring you a ring. He never did that. Whereas KD is straight up doing that.
I mean, so I agree. I'm not a huge Kevin Durant fan. I think whatever. But I have to look at it from his perspective too. Like, he just watched Kyrie sit out for 50% of the season, and then for the other 50%, he could only have him for 50% of those games because he wouldn't, do, which it's his belief. So I'm not knocking that. He didn't want to get the vaccination. So the city of New York was like, no, you can't play here. So you can only play the away games. So you go through all that. And then you have this whole thing with James Harden, who showed up and, was out of shape pretty much when he got there. Not even a full 100%. So they're not even developing any kind of chemistry. So at that point, Harden's gone, gets traded. And then now he's got Kyrie, who essentially showed right off the bat that he's willing to go somewhere until he picked up that option. So now I could assume that he's probably like, fuck this, dude. Like,
I'm not gonna risk Kyrie leaving.
Right.
Too.
And then I'm stuck here with a young team who, I have to carry. Because you remember, Kevin Durant's older now. I mean, he's not...
For basketball years, yeah.
Yeah, he's not young anymore in the NBA age standard. So I can see him wanting to go somewhere that's a little bit more developed. But number one, for him to go back to Golden State after they just won a championship, or go to the Phoenix Suns, who are the best team in the league.
Until the postseason.
Yeah, would be like, all right, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, yeah, I could see your point of view, you know, super hardcore ring chasing right there. You know, like the team's already good. You going there to the Suns is almost like him going to the Warriors after they lost to LeBron. You know, like
I'm just salty that he didn't say the Bucks.
Yeah, well, you heard him when the Timberwolves were offered. They're like, well, we'll give you Kevin Durant, but you got to give us two of their star players, Anthony
Towns,
yeah,
Karl Anthony Towns,
and then the other guy over there. And they're like, yeah, hard no, but no. We're not giving away our young studs here for Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So, which is obviously the right move. You know, if he's going to go somewhere, it's got to be someone who's somewhat developed. Like maybe go play with where's Mitchell at? Not the Jazz. Is it the Jazz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so over the Jazz, you know, go play somewhere like that where you have somebody who's a young, talented guy and go in like what LeBron did with Cleveland. You know, not a bad team, not a great team, but Kyrie was young and coming up in the league at that point.
It would be cool to see him play for the Bulls.
Go up there with Rose or not Rose.
Rose's ankle is still there.
I can't think of the guy's name. He played for the Spurs.
DeRozan,
yeah.
And Ball and
Djukovic, who used to play for Orlando.
Djukovic.
Yeah, up there. I didn't want to say it wrong, but
yeah, that'd be cool. I could picture him in red.
I mean, he'd be a great fit for any team, really.
Picture him in different color of green too.
Yeah, you don't want him to go with Giannis, bro. There would be way too much over there. You guys are good. You're good where you're at. Giannis is a man.
Oh, I know.
He's going to carry that team.
Giannis is just like he's the sweetest soul in the entire world.
Save that man at all costs.
Like that. Like if someone was like, all right, we're going to kill every NBA player besides one, everyone better say Giannis lives because that man is a national treasure.
He's love how he brings out the book and like tells a joke before
the dad jokes and shit. Yeah,
just love it, dude. He's just like, what a peaceful soul. The guy is at peace, dude. He's come from nothing to just. And has never let any ego go to his head. Yeah. MVP, championship, and still just as humble as can be. So,
but I think that'll wrap things up for our podcast. Yes. But we always appreciate you guys tuning in. And
we love you guys.
Like a broken record, we're going to say the same shit that we always say. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. And when you subscribe, make sure notifications are turned on.
Video.
Watch our live stream. Send us your gaming clips. Comment on that shit. Let us know what you want us to talk about. You
guys don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here.
Get the hell out of here because I'm going to play some video games. Have a good night, everybody. Guys. Two. One.
Welcome back to the MGS podcast.
It's podcast.
We're about to talk about some sports.
We're going to talk about some sports.
Talk about sports.
We're going to talk about sex, baby. Talk about you and me. Talk about all the good things and the bad things that will be. Let's talk about sports. Let's talk about sports, baby.
All right, let's do this.
All right, 3.